Hey there. If you're running a fleet, you know that every single minute and every single mile really counts. Today, we're going to dive into how you can take your operation from, well, stressful guesswork to sharp, data-driven precision. Let's get right into it. So think about your typical day. How much of it is just reacting? Juggling calls, trying to guess where your drivers are, basically piecing together a puzzle with half the pieces missing. If that sounds a little too familiar, you're definitely not alone. But there is a much smarter way to do things. And this really shows you the two different worlds of fleet management, right? On one side, you've got the old way, always reacting, doing everything by hand. And honestly, it's pretty inefficient. And on the other side, that's the future. Being proactive, making decisions based on real data, and just running like a well-oiled machine. This isn't just a small tweak, it's a complete game changer for your business. Okay, so let's dig into that first column a little bit, the manual dispatch headache. Because the real costs, they aren't just about wasted fuel. They're hidden in lost time, in stressed out dispatchers, and in huge missed opportunities. Do any of these questions keep you up at night? I mean, these are the constant high-stress unknowns that come from not having real-time visibility. Every single one of these questions is a moment where a simple guess could lead to a really costly mistake. Or even worse, a seriously unhappy customer. But hey, we're not just here to talk about the problems. We're here to lay out the solution. So over the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly how GPS optimization works, we'll look at the hard numbers, and we'll give you a clear roadmap to get this implemented in your own fleet. All right, let's flip the script and talk about the solution itself. This is where we see how live, real-time data becomes your most powerful tool, turning all that chaos into pure clarity. So what are we really talking about here? It's this simple concept, real-time dispatch optimization. And look, it's so much more than just seeing little dots on a map. It's about using a smart system that looks at live locations, who's available, what the traffic is like, and even what kind of truck it is, to automatically find the perfect driver for every single job, instantly. So how does the magic actually happen? Well, it breaks down into a few core pieces. First, you've got live tracking with updates coming in every few seconds. Then, the software automatically matches the best driver to each job. After that, it finds the fastest route based on live traffic. It lets you see who's free and who's busy, and then it pushes all of that info right to your driver's phone or tablet. It's a completely seamless system. Okay, this all sounds great in theory. I get it. But as a business leader, you need to see the numbers. So let's look at the real measurable impact this has on your bottom line. First up, speed. With an automated system, fleets are assigning jobs a staggering 35% faster. Just think for a second about all the time your dispatchers get back, time they can use to solve bigger problems or just deliver better customer service. And that speed, it translates directly to your customers. We're talking an average reduction of 12 minutes in response times. Now, for a customer with an emergency, those 12 minutes feel like an eternity. Getting there faster is how you build incredible loyalty. Next, let's talk efficiency. By always sending the closest, most logical vehicle, you can slash unnecessary mileage by up to 20%. That means less wear and tear on your vehicles and, of course, some pretty significant fuel savings. Let's put a real dollar amount on that, shall we? For a pretty typical 50-vehicle fleet, optimizing routes can lead to fuel savings of up to $4,000 a month. Yeah, that's a number that gets anyone's attention. And it's not just about getting there faster. It's about getting the job done right the first time. By sending the right truck with the right tools, fleets see a huge jump. We're talking 25 to 40% in their first call resolution rates. That means fewer frustrating callbacks and way happier customers. So, the return on your investment, it really comes from everywhere. It's this awesome combination of better productivity, huge fuel savings, way less overtime pay for your drivers, and a whole bunch of other little efficiencies that just streamline your entire operation. Okay, so the why is pretty clear. Now let's talk about the how. Moving to a system like this isn't some massive impossible project. It's actually a really clear, achievable process. Believe it or not, a typical implementation can happen in just 4 weeks. Week 1, you get the actual hardware into your vehicles. Week 2 is all about setting up the software, the brains of the operation. Week 3 is absolutely key. That's when you train your team. And by week 4, you're live, just fine-tuning the system for your specific business needs. Now, when you're making this kind of shift, Reliability is completely non-negotiable. You have to have hardware that just works day in and day out. That's why it's so important to go with professional-grade systems, like Responsible Fleet's GPS solution, that can promise 99.9% uptime and integrate smoothly. It just ensures your data is always there, right when you need it most. But of course, the technology is only one piece of the puzzle. We have to talk about the human side of things. And the most common question that always comes up is, what about the drivers? How are they going to react to this? And this is a totally real and understandable concern. That fear of being micromanaged is often the single biggest hurdle to a smooth rollout. So just acknowledging this fear right up front is the most important first step to overcoming it. The key is to completely reframe the conversation. See, this isn't about watching over their shoulder. It's about making their jobs easier. It's about cutting down on frustrating travel time, giving them better navigation, making their schedules more predictable, and making sure the work is spread out fairly across the entire team. It's a win for them too. So let's just look at the total transformation, side by side. You go from making educated guesses to making truly data-driven decisions. Your ETA accuracy goes from, a vague window of hours to being 85 to 95% accurate. You shift from always being reactive to finally being proactive. And your view of the fleet? It goes from relying on spotty radio check-ins to seeing everything on a live map. It is quite literally night and day. And that really brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. This technology does one fundamental thing. It moves your entire operation from a state of constant reaction to one of proaction. It gives you the power to turn raw data into real dollars and, maybe most importantly, into a customer service experience that truly sets you apart from everyone else. Every single day, your fleet is generating a massive amount of data. And that data is telling a story. A story about inefficiency, about missed opportunities, and about incredible potential savings. So the only question left is, are you ready to finally listen?